Okay, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview now of translations, Act 2, Scene 2. The key things we're going to be covering in this are the way the scene looks at tribes and tribalism in the play, the language of love, and how place still becomes really important in this scene, and the structure of the scene. And so, recollecting that this scene is when we have Moira and Yolande getting away from the party and impossibly trying to talk to each other across language boundaries. But the opening line of it is really important, where Moira says, "Oh my God, that leap across the ditch almost killed me." That ditch is a metaphor, a symbol for the tribal ditch or boundary. Moira has crossed the boundary of tribe, and this is given greater clarity in Act 3 when Jimmy Jack talks about exogamine and endogamine, the marrying inside and outside of the tribe. Moira has broken tribal rules. The feature of the scene is the disastrous attempts of the lovers to communicate without a common language, yet they are in the end able to transcend language. And part of that transcendence is place. That it's interesting the two lovers begin to understand each other with a litany of place names in the romantic Gaelic, like Bunnahowan. And this has parallels in Act 3 when Moira recalls the sound of Yolande's home, Little Walsingham, Norwich, Winfarthing. The sounds of these place names, they substitute for the language of love a lot more eloquently than Rivermouth or Burnfoot ever could. They become that substitute where other language is impossible. Now this comes back to previous conversations in Act 2, Scene 1 about what is missing, what gets lost when you change the place names, when you standardise. When you standardise things, you might have greater clarity about where things are, but something is missing. And this scene here really does express the something that is missing. And so the scene begins with the two impossibly apart. They're tripping over language with each other. But at the end, and as the scene progresses, they become closer and closer together, and they're united through this word always, this common sense that they could have. And it's a very loving kind of word, always. But it's ironic that this note of irony at the end is that always cannot be in this play. We know that these two cannot be together. It's an impossibility, that everything's going to end up in disaster. And the final voice we hear is that of Sarah, voicing her own concern or love, that is, for Manus. That what she sees there, her words Manus, it's really important that these are one of very few words that we actually hear Sarah say. And that perhaps becomes a catalyst for the catastrophe that is to come.